What's up, Fight Fam, and welcome to Boxing Bros. I'm Caden. I'm here with my co-host to introduce themselves in a moment, but this is podcast episode 19.
Yeah.
Introduce yourselves,
What's going
fellas.
on? This is Trill. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, listen. Unfortunately, we had to start this podcast off addressing some rumors, mainly because some of our viewers have been hitting us up, asking us to comment about this. So there are rumors that Deontay Wilder's water was spiked, and that Tyson Fury had a metal object in his glove in the rematch with Deontay Wilder, and that Deontay Wilder was set up to fail. These are rumors swirling around the boxing world, and people wanted us to address it. So I'm gonna start this one off with none other than Trill. What are your thoughts on these rumors that are going around?
He was lactose intolerant, and they gave him a milkshake before the fight. And he had the bubble guts.
He had low potassium.
Yeah. This is bad. This is bad. He had more excuses. This is more excuses than any other fighter has ever had. There's gonna be more. I'm just sitting back, and we're gonna do a tally of all the excuses and just run them down. This is crazy. Metal stuff in the gloves. That's what they're gonna start doing now. The next fight, they're gonna have people over there with the wand, with the metal detector. Right? This is crazy. This is crazy. What else is gonna come out next? I just want to hear what else they're gonna come out with next. They're getting creative. They're starting to get creative. You know, right? Okay, now I want to hear next. I already gave them one, saying that he was lactose intolerant. So y'all can use that one. So everybody for the LBDC, just remember, Trill was looking out for y'all. You know what I mean? I gave y'all another one, and y'all can use that, and y'all can run with that. He was lactose intolerant. You know what I mean? He had the bubble guts. That's why he couldn't perform well. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
It is what it is, IG.
I mean, hey, man, y'all seen The Last Dance, They spiked MJ's pizza. I mean,
That's if you believe that. Because I'm saying, you're Michael Jordan there to play a playoff game. Why would you order pizza and have it delivered to your room? Why wouldn't you just have some randomite go pick up the pizza and bring it to your room? Just a lot about that story doesn't add up. But I know it's the so-called greatest basketball player alive, so people want to act like. But that whole story is sketchy.
Watch your mouth.
That whole story sketchy, by the way. I'm MJ. I'm gonna have pizza delivered to my hotel room so you can know it's me and food poison me. I'm not gonna send some random person no one knows to go pick up my pizza and bring it to me.
Yeah, big fan. That was kind of cool.
All right, go ahead, bro. Nah, but people don't question stuff like this because they're blinded by the whole, like I said, that's all garbage. That's BS. If I'm the biggest celebrity in the world, I'm saying, hey, Bob, go give me some pizza and bring it back here. Because I trust Bob. So whoever I trust, go give me some pizza and bring it back to me. Not, hey, everyone, it's me, the best player in the world. Bring pizza to my...
With the Jerry curl, like,
Exactly.
Hurry up.
You should have sent Pippen. They would have...
I don't believe this, not one bit. I refuse to believe Deontay Wilder was sipping on some Flint water and got sick before the fight. Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't know, man. These are just the excuses are so outlandish. I just have to believe now we just trolling. Like, even his own supporters are now making him a laughing stock of the boxing world. You know what I mean? So there's no way. Like, we went from a glove gate, meaning he had his fist in the wrist area of the glove, to now he inserted metal pieces in the glove to duff him. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yo, man, it's just, this sounds like a cartoon almost, man. So that's why I'm like, I don't believe not one bit of this story, none of these things, until Wilder says it out his own mouth, until he fixes his lips to say, hey, they poisoned me. Hey, they beat me up with a metal bat. Hey, the battery pack in my Mega Man suit was overheated. You know what I mean? Then I'd be like, all right, you know what, Wilder, you crazy, bruh. But until then, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that these are just his people's just throwing stuff on the wall, hoping something sticks.
14 got people losing their mind.
Listen, man, there are a number of things with this. It's annoying to have to keep like addressing this. Like I told the people in my who DM me and people who contact say like, yo, you should respond to this. It's kind of like we would do this all the time. Let me break this down to you on a level that, like I said, you have to be able to understand certain things. You have to have a certain level of sophistication, because I can't keep doing like, they spike this drink with what? After a fight, especially if you get knocked out the way Deontay Wilder did, you go and you get evaluated, and they take your blood. They test you. But after the fight, they test you for all types of substances. So if something was in Wilder's system after the fight, it would have showed up when they tested him. If they drugged him, if they did all this type of stuff, it would have been in his blood work. Because if you're insinuating this is the type of stuff that can physically change a man's performance, and when you speak to your doctor, they say, well, how were you feeling? What was this? What was that? And he would say, I didn't feel like myself. I felt some type. They would, okay, it sounds like, and they would look for that. But you have none of that. You have none of that. There's no reports of anything being in the system. If you were in a car accident and you were and you were driving while you were drunk, when you go to the hospital and they check you, they take your blood, and then they're gonna find out what was in your blood, whether you were driving under the influence of drugs, whether you're driving under the influence of alcohol, right? Then the prosecutors, they're going to summons for your medical records and your blood work, because it's going to make it easier for them to prove their case that you was drunk. When that's just probably what Earl Spence is going through right now. They're going to do all that to prove you were driving while under the influence. Because when you go to the hospital for something like that accident, they take your blood and they check. So once again, if that was the case, it would be in Wilder's medical records. Also, we already went through this. How could a YouTuber get his medical records? It's in violation of HIPAA laws. He would have to either consent to them getting his medical records or give them to him himself, or they would have to go to a court and prove the medical records were relevant for some type of reason that the court deems necessary, like proving someone was driving under the influence of alcohol. What would their reason be? Oh, we think no one could beat him if he was 100%. So we need those medical records to prove he wasn't himself in a fight. The judge like, if you don't get the hell out, as a matter of fact, they'll get locked up for filing frivolous lawsuits and requests because for that. So the one thing is they testified as after the fight. The second thing, metal in his gloves. What are we going back to 1919? This is not a joke. We're really going back to 1919 when Jack Dempsey beat Jess Willard. And when Jack Dempsey beat Jess Willard believes that Jack Dempsey had some metal in his glove. And that's the way he beat him. And that was a big rumor back then in 1919, right? Because Jack Dempsey's manager, Ken Burns, placed a bet on Jack Dempsey knocking out Jess Willard. And it almost came true, but the ref said it wasn't over. That's a whole nother story. But the point is, you guys are going to 1919 for excuses now? 1919. You're going Jack Dempsey, Jess Willard on us now. Seriously? Man, this is 2020. That excuse is over 100 years old, brothers. You done went back 100 years to find an excuse. I'm telling you, y'all are doing it big. Y'all are doing it big. All right.
At least they doing their research.
I don't even think they knew that. I don't even think they knew that. I don't even think they're aware that that excuse is over 100 years old. But I'm just letting you guys know it's over 100 years old. Jack Dempsey, Jess Willard. Look it up, fellas. Come up with something new. Y'all thought y'all was doing something groundbreaking, right? Y'all didn't realize that's dated and old. That's played. You just use this, you know. Y'all so far behind. Now, here's another thing. if you're gonna say Deontay Wilder told you this, that's groundbreaking news. You know why it's groundbreaking news? Because I talked to my bro about this, and I'll tell you guys about it too. There are two reasons why you can kill a man in a ring and not go to jail for it. So one reason is they consent to contact, right? You consent to the physical contact within the rules of the sport. So if you're in a boxing ring and you're getting punched in the face, in the street, that's an assault and battery, right? In the street, that's a crime. But in a boxing ring, you can do that because it's part of the sport. And you consent to contact within the scope of the sport. Now, say you're in a boxing ring and someone hits you with a roundhouse kick. That's an assault and battery because that's beyond the rules of, beyond the scope of the rules of the sport. Yeah, exactly. So if you're playing football, like when Myles Garrett took his helmet and swung it at the quarterback from Randolph, I think his name was, from the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's beyond the scope of the sport. Now you're talking about an assault and battery. Now you're talking about a criminal act because that's not a part of football. That's something else. So in boxing, you consent to rules within the scope of the sport. If you have metal in your glove, if you have a metal object in your glove, that's not boxing. That's beyond the rules of the sport. That is assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. That's a crime. Why would Deontay Wilder be telling that to some YouTuber instead of reporting it to the police?
Exactly.
Come on, man. Yo, here's the thing. Like I said, it takes a certain level of sophistication to understand what's going on. And I love this. I broke this down with facts and legal facts. And someone's going to say I'm biased by using the law. I'm biased by telling you the law. That's the law. Go look it up. You're so busy looking up stuff that's lies. Look up the truth so it'll help you in the future. That's the law. If he had metal in his gloves and he hit Deontay Wilder with it, that is a serious crime. That is assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. That's what it is. And all the damage Deontay Wilder suffered as a result of, if he did that with metal? Are you kidding me? But no, instead of reporting that assault and battery with a dangerous weapon to the police, he's going to tell a YouTuber, which brings me to my last point. Why would you break such groundbreaking news to YouTubers? I mean, I love my channel. I love what we do, but we're not CNN. Right. We're not ESPN. We're not Sky Sports. Why would you tell a YouTuber that and not tell it to the major networks? Why would you tell it to a YouTuber? You tell it to the major networks and the YouTubers will get it after. What you say, bro?
You tell them to give that information to PBC Fox. You know what I mean?
Exactly my point. No, YouTubers are going to pick it up after you give it to the mainstream networks. That's when the YouTubers are going to pick it up. As soon as PBC Fox or as soon as ESPN, as soon as Sky Sports breaks the news, YouTubers are going to see and be like, oh, snap. There's charges against Tyson Fury. Wilder saying he beat him with, and then bang, it's going to be online. So you just decide to give an exclusive. You decide to give a 60-minute exclusive to the YouTubers. Man, come on. There comes a time when you just have to be realistic and understand garbage when you hear it. Like, you just have to understand that it's garbage. Like, and this is my point for people who say, this is when Wilder has to come out and say, look, because they're saying they're getting it from him. I just got off the phone with the champ, and the champ told me. And these are people you've given interviews to in the past. So there is some form of credibility that they have in terms of having access to you. You have to dead this. And then you have to dead them. Because right now they're turning you into the laughing stock. But anyways, I'm done. Anyone got anything to add before we move on?
Nah. You basically said it all, man.
Right. So moving on to something else. Anthony Joshua was doing an interview, and he admits that he got beaten to a pulp in the Andy Ruiz fight. He said there's no excuse. He said he could try to make one up if you want him to, but there's no excuse. He just got beat. He said he still believes that he's the best and that when all is said and done, he's going to be the best heavyweight. of this generation. Trill, what are your thoughts on that?
This is crazy. Like I've been documented on Boxing Bros for saying this before. Even before the Ruiz fight, even after the Ruiz fight, I always said I wasn't a huge fan of Anthony Joshua. Wasn't a huge fan of him. I really didn't have like I couldn't rock with him. I couldn't get jiggy with it. You know what I'm saying? But I was wrong. I was wrong. I really, really like this kid. After the Ruiz fight, and now, after seeing that interview, no excuses. No excuse. Man, listen. If you don't respect this kid, like there's something's gotta be off with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm having a hard time not. This just made me really, really like this kid. Like for real. I just really, really, really like him now. Like I'm really a fan of him now. As a person. I'm a fan of him as a person, as a man. That's what men do. You know what I'm saying? You lost. You got that. You know what I'm saying? You was right. Everything that y'all seen in that ring, yep, I lost. No excuses. You got that. There's a couple of other heavyweights that could take a page from that kid's notebook and use that. No excuses. Just get back in there and train and get right back to it. You gotta respect that kid. You gotta, yo. You got to. I wanted to hate on him. I wanted to be like, oh, he's like a robot. He can't move. I said all this stuff. I said the same stuff that Andy Ruiz said. Yo, I used to get on Caden. I got on Caden. I even, at one point, I was like, yo, Deontay Wilder is going to do a number on this boy. You know what I'm saying? I like Deontay Wilder as a person. When he came out with his whole situation, when he was fighting for his daughter and all that, he grabbed me. He grabbed me. And I was like, yo, this kid, I don't see nothing in him. Boy, was I wrong. And I don't have no problem with saying I was wrong. I was wrong. Yo, this kid is this man, not even a kid. I'm sorry for disrespecting the boy. Like this man.
Disrespecting the boy.
I know. Disrespecting
That
the
boy
man.
in the street slang way with props.
Yeah.
I follow you. I'm with you, Trill.
Thank you. You should be walking with me, G.
Walk with him.
Yeah, I respect it. You can do nothing but respect the kid. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I was harsh on him before. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I said before, I take that back. He's a man, and you gotta respect it. No excuses. And then we're gonna get to the rest of the interview, but just that point alone, you gotta respect him. Can't take nothing away from him. I got nothing but respect for the men. Real talk.
All right, G.
Yeah, I agree 1000% with Trill. I never hated AJ, right? Because I was like, yo, man, this dude, he did beat Klitschko, so he always got my respect on that end. But you know, I'm Team USA, and so I went hard for Wilder. You know what I mean? So that meant AJ had to become the enemy.
Don't say went. You still go hard for Wilder. You're just not going delusional.
I'm saying
you're just not going delusional. That's all. You're going hard. You're not going delusional.
Yeah. Wilder versus AJ, you gotta understand, like the arguments that me and Kaden had. These things, I'm telling you, we went so hard. Like I'm literally like, I don't want to hear nothing. Wilder's gonna murder this man with the right hand of God. I was talking extra spicy. And then when he lost to Ruiz, right? I was like, yo, damn, man, he got battered. Like
you was talking extra spicy when he lost here.
This is y'all king. I was talking extra reckless. But then it's like, yo, he came up with no excuses. And I'm always like, I like, to me, I pride myself off of like being a man, right? It's important to me. I got sons. I want them to be like, all right, yo, I want to be like my dad, right? So when I seen AJ's also a father. He has a son. To me, I was like, he earned like so much more respect to me because he had no excuses. When I compare AJ to Wilder and Dillian White, all I hear from these dudes are excuses. Ruiz also, because in the rematch, Ruiz talking about, yeah, I was out of shape, this and that. Excuses. You know, all I hear from the heavyweight division is excuses, with the exception of one man, which is Anthony Joshua. And to me, I'm actually happy Anthony Joshua is the cash cow of the division. Because I always said, like, at least he's a good look for the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I see him as actually a good ambassador. And I'm not trying to put the battery in his back and gas him, but it's good to see a brother of that stature behaving the way that I would want to behave in public. You know what I mean? So for that, salute to AJ, man.
Touche.
Yeah, you know, so, and trust me, like what Trill said, I tried my hardest to hate. But his whole like, damn, he's doing what I would have did. He got that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, salute to Anthony Joshua.
No, I can just co-sign on that. Like, the one thing I can say about G is he'll be strong in his arguments, like super strong. But when he's wrong, he's not like too prideful to be like, yo, I was wrong about that, or like you got that, or whatever. And I think that's admirable. It takes a certain amount of like strength and confidence within yourself to do that. But G, actually, and I don't know if I'm violating anything or whatever, but like excuses, excuses, right?
The tools are weak and incompetent, built upon moments of nothingness, you know? So
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
AJ understands that, man. Salute
exactly. Exactly. So the whole point of that is like, look, if you are not willing to accept the outcome of something and the role in which you played, you're bound to do the same thing over again. That's why those who make excuses, seldom accomplish anything, right? Because what you keep doing is you keep making excuses and you're not accepting accountability. Even if it's true, even if there are obstacles and barriers that made the outcome you desired harder, what role did you play? Right? How could you find a route that's different to accomplish your goal? You can sit around and play victim. You can sit around and blame people. The bottom line is when you're sitting down, you're doing nothing. When you're sitting down, you're changing nothing. When you're blaming other people, you're not looking at yourself. And if you're telling me Deontay Wilder played no role in his demise, you're lying to yourself. Numerous boxing channels that I watch have said it over and over again. This man doesn't respect the craft of boxing. He needs to learn how to box. He needs to learn how to do. If you watch our channel, I said it before. If you tell me Wilder's going to jab, do it, then I would pick Wilder. But I know he's not, so I'm not picking him in the Fury fight. Like, listen, all I can tell you guys is instead of building excuses and reasons why, you should be encouraging the guy you root for to get better. Anthony Joshua recognized he lost. He recognized he could have done things differently. Maybe there was some real actual excuses, but what role did you play? I wasn't training like I should have. I wasn't as dedicated as I should have been. I wasn't as motivated. I took my position for granted. All types of things and changed it. What is Wilder doing to change his position? What is he accountable for? How can he make sure he's a different fighter in the trilogy? That's what he... Go ahead,
definitely. Bro. And even if you are a Deontay Wilder fan or a Deontay Wilder supporter, there's nothing wrong, with seeing something and respecting it. You know what I'm saying? You can be a Deontay Wilder fan and still respect the fact that Anthony Joshua didn't make up no excuses. He lost and he came right back and got it. You can give people props. That's not being biased, giving somebody props.
In this new age of fans, it is, bro, because it's crazy to me. It's like you and I, like, because I know we all know each other. We've known each other for years. This channel is like a little over a year old. It was just 1 year on May 19th. So, for example, Trill, we watched Wilder and we liked Wilder. And we were rooting for Wilder to be successful. But then he changed. Like you said, he went from being this humble guy who's fighting to support his family to I want a body in the ring. And exactly. I'm better than Mike Tyson. I'll knock out Joe Louis. And I said, yo, I don't know this guy. Yeah. This guy's a clown. Like, I'm not rocking with that. And
I remember that. I remember exactly.
Exactly. So I already said, yo, this guy's ego is much greater than his talent. So, like, I can't rock with that. Just like in our comment section, like with the video we made about Crawford, Spence, and Sean Porter's comments. Yo, we love Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy.
And G's my witness, G. When Keith Thurman was undefeated and champion of the world, and we were sitting, I forget what fight we were watching. What did I say? What fight did I say would beat Keith Thurman?
The TC. You know what I mean?
Yo, and I said Earl Spence would beat him too. Before any of you guys were screaming in names. But just because I'm critical of him now, I said his name before y'all knew who he was. You doubt that? Come on, man. Like, yo, I can like someone and still be objective. I can
watch our old episodes.
Still be objective.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled. I'll be objective. I love G. I'll be objective. We tell each other the truth.
Yeah, you can still be a fan. You can still be a supporter and still have constructive criticism for your fighter.
Exactly.
Like, to me, I like Wilder. But I know this dude doesn't really utilize the jab. I know he just likes to get in position for the right hand. We know that, right? So then when a person, like, and this is no shade to Complex. Complex is my man's. But it's like, I refuse to be delusional. Like, I could still be like, you my man's, but you need to work on your fundamentals. You my man's, but you have to work on more than just your right hand. Like, to me, that should be a true supporter. Too often we see on our comments, people are just like, yo, it's Wilder all the way. Watch when he beats him up. I'm like, all right, man. And I think Wilder feeds off of that. When too many people are just putting the battery in your back, like, yo, champ, you good. All you need to do is land the right hand. But what happens when it doesn't work? You know, now you're like in a situation where you're getting beat to death. You know, so I feel like sometimes we just got to be objective. It is a sport.
Yes men are never your friends.
Exactly.
Yes men are never your friends. I'm just going to tell y'all that from experience. I'm not jumping into too deep in that, but yes men.
Actually, bro, I think you just gave us the perfect segue to the next topic, which is Anthony Joshua said he lost some A-list celebrity friends after he got beat by Andy Ruiz. And he said he learned a lesson from it, and now, you know, he's going to stay more grounded and just stay surrounded by his day ones. So, exactly. Like, you know, Jules pointed out, yes men are never your friends. So, like, G, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, Drake already told us, man, no new friends, you know?
And he probably talking to Drake. Drake, Drake, you used to call him on your cell phone. You used to call him on his cell phone to after he lost to Andy Ruiz. What happened?
Yo, I was about to say, Drake is one of the new friends Joshua had, because I saw that picture. Drake ghosted him after that loss.
Yeah. He's like, you used to call me on my cell phone. But then Andy Ruiz, he don't call him no more.
Yeah, the moment he lost to Ruiz, people deleted his name out of their contact list.
And that's them yes men. I refuse to be a yes man. I can, like, we have videos on here on Boxing Bros where all of us are saying how Terrence Crawford is a dog in there. He's a madman in the ring. But now we can only praise him. We can't tell him the things he needs to work on and the things he can do to get better. We can only, you know what I'm saying, like, just pat his back and that's it. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Y'all bringing fanboyism to a whole new level. You know what I'm saying? Like, be reasonable. Like, we know Crawford is a dog. We know he's a monster in there. He ain't no punk. He ain't no slouch. But we also know the best welterweights are over there at PBC. Am I lying?
No. Also,
and is he fighting any other guys over there at PBC?
No.
All right. So
and we're supposed to act like we don't know that. That's all. Like,
we blind to the fact. We blind to the fact.
Nobody said he's not good. Look at how high we rated TC in the ring. Because I think we rated TC overall higher than Earl Spence. But just because he has a higher overall, he's the smaller guy. Spence is just, you know, as talented. And he's bigger. And like I said to you before, how my motto goes already. You have to be an outstanding little guy facing a good big guy to win. If you're facing a bigger man who's similar in skill set, I'm going with the bigger man, bro. Like, it's just there's.
What do you say all the time? What do you say? Yeah, big fish eat little fish.
Big fish eats little fish, bro. Yo, trust me, I learned my lesson as a kid. I was like letting my heart dictate who I'm rooting for, and I was rooting for the little fish. I was rooting for the little fish, and my dad will always say, "Bro, just wait." And around round 9, round 10. It'll be an ugly scene, and my heart will be broken. And my dad used to say this to me all the time: a big fish always eats a little fish. And I'll be like, F you. And now I go in my room. And I'm holding on. I'm rooting for the smaller guy. And the smaller guy will be winning the earlier rounds. Like Anthony Durrell and David Benavidez. And I'll be like to my dad, yeah. And he'd be like, just wait. And then the smaller guy would lose. There'd be a smaller guy with heart, like Anthony Durrell, a dog. You're gonna tell me Anthony Durrell's not a dog? But like my dad would always say, a big fish always eats a little fish. And you know what? You get older, you let go of stubbornness. You're right. You're right. Like, it is what it is. So, but Troy, did you give your comments on the celebrity and what he said, or?
Oh, nah. Listen. We all know that these celebrities, they're fickle. You know, and especially these new people, yes men. That's what I'm talking about. Yes men. You gotta get rid of the yes men, and I can see it because they're not his real friends. You always gotta stick with your day ones. Your day ones are gonna tell you when you're doing wrong, and they don't care. They don't care if you stop talking to them, if they mad at you or not. They don't care because they have your best interests at heart. It's the yes men that only cares about what you can do for them at that moment. The materialistic stuff. They're only gonna be there while you're on top. Because once you hit rock bottom and you're sleeping on somebody else's couch, it's gonna be your day one that's gonna let you in. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's gonna let you day one and it's gonna let you come and sleep on the couch. And all your yes men, they're gonna forget about you. And like they did with AJ after he lost, they're gonna delete your name out their phone number. He learned he learned a valuable lesson. If you ever dislike this kid AJ, please go watch that interview. It's gonna definitely change your opinion on the kid per se, on the man per se, on your on his personality. You might not change it. You probably don't like his fighting skills, but it'll change how you feel about him as a person.
Yeah, you fall in love with the character. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the character.
You have to respect the character.
Yeah. So
Pardon me.
no, go ahead, bro. What you gonna say?
I remember Teofimo Lopez's father said this, and it had me like reevaluate all of these boxing trainers and everything. He was like, I would train my son for free, right? And it's like, obviously that's your son, right? But when you really think about that, like, you're going into a ring with your son, he's gonna get beat up. There's a potential he could get beat up, knocked out. There's a potential he could die in that ring. So you have the best interest in making sure his nutrition is correct, his skills are up to par, he made weight. You're making sure he's the best fighter possible, right? To me, that's like a prime example of somebody that's invested in your success and in your career. Then when a lot of boxers that become famous, they become wealthy, they start hanging out with celebrities and groupies and, people that just want them for what they bring. I also equate that to the YouTube community, right? When these dudes get exclusives with the fighter, they're no longer going to be critiquing them. You know what I mean? Now it's just, I got to put the battery in the dude's back or I won't get an exclusive. I won't get this interview. I won't get these tickets. So then it's like, even though you see the flaws, you have to pretend that you don't see them just so you can be in their good graces or whatever. So when you're looking at all of this, same thing with celebrities, right? It's all about what you bring to them. Them being around you while you're undefeated, while you got all the belts, you're putting clout to their name. You know what I mean? Like, you invite them to places, they're like, yo, I chill with Joshua, blah, 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 blah. Now you get beat up out of nowhere, they disappear on you. Like, come on, man. Drake said it best, man. No new friends, like, because to me, it's like, let's just say we all blew up, right? Like, literally the boxing bros. Now we get to, I don't know, the zone picks us up. I don't know if the zone gonna do that anyway. They're going broke. But, like PBC or something is like, yeah, we like how you guys critique fighters, whatever. We want to work with y'all, right? Now we getting millions of dollars and everything. Now all these like fighters and news analysts or whatever, boxing analysts, they all want to hang out with us. But at the moment, like, I don't know, we mess up on a prediction, they just dip out on us. And we like all sad and hurt about it. Like, yo, we knew what time it was. This is the game. You know what I mean? So I view people as, they like you for who you are at that moment. You know what I mean? So when they dip out, it's like, I don't take it personal because I knew what time it was. AJ, I'm pretty sure he understood. Like, or maybe he didn't understand at the time because he is fairly young, but he learned now. You know what I mean? These people didn't really care for who he truly is. They just cared about his status.
Yeah, so it's a interesting thing because no one's immune to the celebrity status, including other celebrities, right? And so when Anthony Josh was undefeated, when he's being promoted as the next big thing, the next generational superstar in boxing, yeah, these people want him around. They want to take pictures with him. They want to be seen with him, and you have access to all these people. But as soon as you lose, you're no longer the it thing. Like, when the joke's on you, the joke's on them too, kind of. And so it's like, yeah, you thought like, and so they distance themselves. And so what Joshua had to learn is what I try to tell people all the time, like, just be content with who you are as a person. Like, even in like your example, G, for me, you just got to be happy with the person you see when you look in the mirror. So if I ever had a job with, say, like PBC or whatever, I'm going to always do what I do, which is speak my mind and what I believe. And, it's difficult because I know they give you fighters and they say, push this fighter, push that fighter, do this. And like I believe personally that Andre Ward is being told to, big up Tyson Fury and put down Anthony Joshua because of who he works for. And there's politics within that. But for me, if you're content with who you are, that's all that matters. And I think that's the space that Josh was arrived at. Because the one thing I will say is familiarity breeds contempt, right? And so what I mean by that is when these celebrities meet Anthony Joshua, they're meeting Anthony Joshua, the celebrity. When he meets the other celebrities, he's meeting them as other celebrities, right? But the more you know a person, the more you've been around a person, the more you've seen them at their low, they seen you at your low, the more real it becomes, the more they're just a regular person to you. And it's not about celebrity, it's not about anything. It's just, this is like my dude, this is my guy. I've known him all his life. And so when you know the ins and outs of a person, when you're so comfortable with a person, when you grew up with a person, you feel more comfortable telling them certain things because you don't see them as a celebrity. They're always just that person you grew up with. Like you know embarrassing things about them. They know embarrassing things about you. Like you have stories of the grind and whatnot. And so you don't necessarily see them, regardless of if their names and lights or if they have no lights. They're still the same person to you. And so that's what Anthony Joshua's realized. Like, I'm going to surround myself by my people. Because when he lost, those same people were like, man, like, my boy lost. And then when he wins, like, man, my boy won. But either way, they're still there. And the celebrities were like, yeah, man, your status is dropped. Oh, man, like, time to unfollow. And let's go follow Andy Ruiz. They Don Kingdom. But yeah, so.
You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, son, it's crazy.
Last thing I will say, though, is someone who has that under control, though, is Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury never really cared about the celebrity, was never really into that. Like, you could see him in the trailer, before the Vladimir Klitschko fight. Like, I'm just going back to the roots. Like, it's great to remind yourself you're nothing but a man when it's all said and done. When it's all said and done, you're nothing but a man. Strip away celebrity status, whatever. You breathe, eat, sleep, crap. You're susceptible to the same. You're susceptible to COVID-19. Everyone's not in the house and celebrities are out there roaming about. No, they can get COVID-19 too. You're nothing but a man. Doesn't matter how much money you got in the bank, how many followers, you're nothing but a man. And the moment you start thinking you're something more than that, the world will remind you exactly what you are. So,
yeah, big facts.
We're gonna move on. Danny Garcia is a huge underdog to Earl Spence, according to betting odds. Forbes, let me pull that up real quick. Forbes magazine released the betting odds. And what's interesting is Danny Garcia is a bigger underdog in the UK than he is here in the USA. Well, what that article? Oh, here it is. All right, pulling up the article. So it's no longer this way. Before the car crash, you had to bet $600 on Earl Spence to win $100. And if you bet $100 on Danny Garcia, you would have won $400. But after the car accident, you have to bet $260 on Earl Spence to win $100. And if you bet $100 on Danny Garcia, you'll win $200. In the UK, it's even worse. Why the UK odds haven't loaded up here? Oh, yeah, now they loaded up. In the UK, if you bet $400 on Earl Spence, you'll win $100. If you bet $100 on Danny Garcia, you'll win $275 if he wins. With that being said, G, what are your thoughts on those boxing odds?
Yo, listen here. I'm not the gambling type of brother, but I'm gonna have to make me a little bet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I look at it as like, hey, although I do want Spence to win, I like my money even more. So to me, I might have to make a little bet. You know, like I'll drop like 200 on it, see what happens. You know, so
live or die with that.
That way, at least if the truth loses, at least I made me some money. You know, if he wins, hey, it's just $200 for me. You know, so it's a win-win in my situation now. Like, man, shout out to everybody that's reckless out here. So, but I will say this in regards to the UK, that's crazy. Y'all must have not seen that car accident. You know what I mean? So maybe they blocked the footage in the UK, and that's why these betting odds are that crazy in the UK. But I'm telling y'all, listen, man, that was crazy. So I don't know. At least with the US, it kind of makes sense why it looks like that. It's just, all right. I'm just shocked, man. I'm being honest with y'all. This is coming right back from the car accident. Y'all think Danny, they pretty much just saying Danny's food, you know, and I don't know how they could see that, man. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me right now. Like, maybe if Spence had like a tune-up fight and we got to see how he's performing, then I could be like, all right, maybe y'all making sense. But because of that car accident, and on top of that, when you look at his fights, right, like, and I think we're gonna talk about with the Thurman thing, but like, it kind of goes into this where, yeah, Earl Spence is great when he throws some hooks to the body, but what happens when a dude is throwing a faster hook to your face at the same time? You know what I mean? And I don't think people are factoring that in. Like, Danny Garcia is a pretty good counter fighter. You know what I mean? He throws like probably the best hooks in the welterweight division. No one's factored that in, you know? So I don't know. And I get it. People are like, yo, he's flat-footed. I think he's flat-footed at times as well. But this is too dangerous for Earl coming out of a major car accident. So I don't know how these odds are so lopsided. You know what I mean? I think they should kind of even out. Like, Danny, I'm not saying Danny should be the favorite to win, but it shouldn't be this extreme. That's kind of crazy to me.
All right, $1 bill.
Everything that G just said, everything I agree with, everything that G just said. First of all, I just want to throw a shout out to everybody out in the UK. Hey, listen, your boy is going to come to the UK, so make sure I'm all right, okay? Make sure that I'm good. I'm going to come down there and get some money, okay? I love y'all betting odds. Forget what they're saying. I love y'all betting. I'm going to come out there. Y'all just make sure Trill's right, okay? Oh, man, I'm going to come out there and get a couple dollars. Y'all just as soon as I touch down, y'all come pick me up, take me, get a drink or whatever. Make sure I'm right when we get down there, because I'm going to UK get some money. Now, this it's everything that it's crazy. It's like you await this to see how this might be an early Christmas present. We don't know. This might be. It's not even a bad bet. I can go. I put up $200 and take a trip to UK, see some of the UK homies. Man, listen, it's a win-win, you know? These guys mirror each other to me. That's just me. I see a lot of Danny Garcia and Earl. I see a lot of Earl and Danny Garcia. To me, these guys marry each other. It's a much closer fight than what people think. Maybe they don't like Danny because I don't know. Danny don't wear the type. I don't know why they don't like Danny. I really don't. I'm not a Danny fanboy. I'm not an Earl Spence fanboy. I'm a boxing fanboy, and I just want to tell you that this is going to be an amazing fight, and it's way more closer than what you got to me, right? And that it's up in the air. It's up in the air. I know everybody got their favorites, but you cannot forget the all the accomplishments that Danny Garcia has done in this sport of boxing. I get it. Y'all don't like him. Y'all don't like I don't know why y'all don't like him. You just don't like him. I get it. You're not gonna like everybody. Everybody is not gonna like you. I get it. But do not diminish his accomplishments that he has in the ring. This boy makes people look different after you fight him. Earl's just been in a terrible car accident, had to get his teeth done over. Danny will knock his teeth out. No, for real. And I'm not saying Earl's no slouch. We know Earl is a problem, but so is that car accident. And we don't know if this is the same Earl. I get it. You know, his team saying he's the same Earl. We just got through talking about yes men. Because there's some people over there that just want to see a check. They're working by checkly. So we won't know until Earl get in there. But y'all keep thinking, y'all keep playing Danny short. Y'all gonna be disappointed. That's all I'm saying. And I'm coming to the UK. UK trip.
What's funny to me is this is giving me flashbacks, man, because I remember when we went over the betting odds for Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. And we were like, hey, man, the church is giving away money, man. Oprah's giving away money. You know what I'm saying? What's funny to me is this was what makes me laugh. A few things. So, like, I saw, like, a comment that said, like, we're starting to sound like Earl Spence, you know. And even in that comment, like, I respect the comment, but, like, clearly you have been watching us for a long time. Because I've been saying on this show for the longest time, Danny Garcia is the one fight that I would pick against Earl Spence. I think Danny Garcia will beat Earl Spence. I thought he would beat Earl Spence before the car accident. I think he beats Earl Spence now. Danny Garcia is a problem for any of these fighters because he hits hard, he's a counterpuncher, and he has impeccable timing. And he has a beard. He has a chin. So he's gonna have 12 rounds to land a shot. If you believe that he lost to Keith Thurman, that's on you. If you believe he lost to Sean Porter, that's on you. I think he won both those fights. I've never seen Danny Garcia lose a professional fight, in my opinion. So that's me, and I don't think he would lose to Earl Spence. So when I see these betting odds, I'm thinking, hey, you know, Vegas wasn't built on the back of winners. Like, yeah, for real. And so I'm not telling people to bet because I don't recommend, I usually don't bet myself unless the odds are like so good and I feel so good about the fight. This is a fight that can go either way, but the odds don't reflect that.
Mm-hmm.
If these odds, say Danny Garcia was fighting Terrence Crawford and the odds were 10-1, oh, I'm in there. 10-1 for Crawford, I'm in there. If they were 10-1 for Spence, I'm in there. These guys are not that much better than Danny Garcia. Earl Spence is not this much better than Danny Garcia. Trust me on that. If what happened with Mikey, with Danny, if what happened with Sean, with Danny, I don't see these odds being that wide for Earl Spence. But I know there's going to be people out there who say what they say. So let me just run y'all a little something. And Trill's on my brother. He can just chime in on his opinion on this. Before Miguel Cotto fought Antonio Margarito and got beat with the plaster of Paris in the gloves, I used to always say Miguel Cotto's the only guy I think can beat Floyd Mayweather. Everyone said I was crazy. And when Floyd fought Miguel Cotto, was one of the toughest fights he ever had in his career. It was a stylistic thing. It was a matchup thing. It was Miguel Cotto's timing, intellect. I see the same type of intangibles in Danny Garcia. And after the fight, Trill thought it would be an easier fight. And after the fight, Trill was like, yo, you're right. Cotto's style was tough. Well, we disagree on it, but after we see the fight, it's like, okay, you're right. This is what happens. So you may disagree now, but don't be surprised. Like, and if Earl Spence beats him easy, I'll come on here and say that. I thought Earl Spence was going to beat Sean Porter easy. Run the tape. Yo, we had one segment that was the shortest segment we ever had on this show, because we all were like, oh man, Sean Porter's going to get bossed. And then we came in after the fight like, Sean Porter impressed me. Sean Porter. And he lost. But you give credit where credit is due, where people earn it, where it's deserved. You don't be a hater. You don't be a fanboy. You don't say whatever. If I'm an Earl Spence fanboy, you don't watch any of these videos that we've made. I just tell the truth. Their matchup, I think Danny Garcia is a matchup nightmare for Earl Spence Jr., in my opinion. All right, so.
Right now, definitely. Definitely right
now, but I think before he was a matchup nightmare, but even now it's just a worse deal.
I don't know. They just certain people just don't get the love and the credit. They just don't. Maybe because Danny just don't look like a fighter. He looked like a salsa instructor.
And he's been putting out bad raps, so people are holding that against him too.
Danny can spit. Leave that alone. Danny can rap. You know what I'm saying?
Like a reggaeton artist. You know what I mean?
There's like, no way am I rooting for Danny Daddy Yankee.
Yeah, so we'll transition into an interview with Keith Thurman where he said Earl Spence is the kind of champion that we haven't seen him up against everybody. And Danny Garcia is another style. He has a very unique style, just like Sean Porter is a unique style. Danny Garcia is a counterpuncher. He's a power puncher. I fought Danny, I fought Porter, and I can say 100% that Danny Garcia hits a lot harder than Sean Porter. So Spence, took plenty of shots from Sean. What happens if Danny lands a big counter? Thurman went on to say, Danny hopped in that ring real quick. That means he saw something that gave him confidence to do that. You know what he said to me at the desk? That unifying as the welterweight champion is a dream come true for him. And instead of getting 2 belts by defeating 2 champions, all Danny Garcia would have to do is beat 1 champion to be unified champion at 147. That's comments by Keith Thurman. Trill, what are your thoughts on those comments?
It's funny. It's funny that Thurman said that because we, the Boxing Bros, said the same exact thing when we was talking about the fight. Like, Danny seen something. He jumped in that ring too quick. You know what I'm saying? After that fight, he jumped in there too quick. He seen something, you know? It was, I believe Thurman. Thurman don't got no reason to lie. And he's not like a Sean Porter. He don't hold those biases if you beat him up. He's not going to say that you're trash after you beat him up.
And he got the dub.
Yeah, and he got the dub. You know what I'm saying? So he even said it. He said what he say? The hardest punch he took was from Danny Garcia, and it was to his shoulder.
Yes.
Come on. Come on. You gotta respect Keith. I give Keith a hard time, but Keith ain't no slouch in there either. I respect all these fighters.
Well,
all these fighters know what's up.
We give Keith a hard time for getting it and then getting comfortable. But before he got it, Keith was he was a bad man. He got it,
listen, and then he got comfortable.
Yeah.
And he's not the only one. A lot of fighters do that. Once they achieve a certain success, they start buying houses and starting families, and they don't have nothing to fight for no more. That hunger leaves. But I agree with everything that Keith Thurman said. Earl hasn't been in there with a Danny Garcia yet. And Danny has had some tough fights. He's been underneath those lights when he was supposed to lose. and he pulled out the victory. This is gonna be a good fight. I'm not saying Earl's gonna win. I'm not saying Danny's gonna win. I don't know yet until the fight gets made final. Then I'll make my predictions. But both of these guys is warriors. I don't see one being better than the other. To me, these guys mirror each other, and I'm just going to keep saying that. To me, these guys mirror each other, and I think it's going to be a great, great fight. A great, great fight. The problem is, Danny is not going to get the decision, and I think he learned that. I think he learned that. That's why he's been taking everybody out. You know, with the Keith Thurman, like what my brother Kaden said, haven't seen a fight where I thought that Danny lost. I thought that the Keith Thurman and Danny fight was a draw. I keep watching it back and forth, and I keep getting 6-6. With the Sean Porter fight, come on, guys, come on, come on. Watch the fight, please. Watch the fight, please. Watch the fight with no commentary. Just turn.
With the volume down and not listening to biased Sugar Ray Leonard justifying running because he ran from Hagler. So he's trying to make it seem like running is boxing.
Yes, just pay attention to the shots landed.
Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't just run from Hagler. He ran from Duran too, but go ahead.
Yeah. So just look at the shots landed and look at the fighters after the fight. Who would you rather be? That's an easy way to how to score that fight. But Sean, and Sean looked really good against Earl. If it wasn't for that knockdown, to me, Sean would have took about 1 point. That knockdown.
No, it's also one key point I want to add as well is you saw Danny fight Thurman. You saw Porter fight Thurman. You never saw Spence fight Thurman either. Mm-hmm. So you can't be like, oh, well, they lost to Thurman, so they're not that good because Spence never been in the ring with Thurman. So you can't just give Spence the victory over Keith Thurman. He would have to earn it because Pacquiao beat Keith, but Pacquiao is Pacquiao, and Pacquiao earned that dub. Now, Spence would have to prove he could take the shots that Pacquiao took. He has the heart to stand up to them shots. And Keith Thurman, I thought Keith Thurman beat Sean Porter. That was no robbery. That was quite easy for me to judge. So, and I thought Keith Thurman did a better job against Sean Porter than Earl Spence did. I think Kell Brook did a better job, but it doesn't matter because once again, Kell Brook did a better job, but Spence beat Kell Brook. When it's all said and done, it's all about matchups and styles. Although Kell Brook was coming off that Triple G fight, and he took a lot of punishment in that fight before
broken audible bone, you know, the broken audible bone.
Yeah. He took a lot of punishment before he stepped in the ring with Earl Spence, and perhaps he shouldn't have done it that soon. So, but so I'll give it back to you, Troy. I just want to point that out because you were making some.
No, I'm glad that you brought up that Special K. Maybe Special K shouldn't have took that fight so soon, like with Earl. Shouldn't have took this fight so soon. He had a broken audible bone from fighting Triple G, and Earl got a broken face from fighting that Ferrari. So he should learn something from that fight, you know. So listen, this is. I just don't understand the hate, and I don't understand the spread. I really don't.
All right, G.
Yeah, you know, it's funny listening to Thurman and also listening to both of you guys talk about this. I like to give a special shout out to Al the Prophet Haney, because when he drops the ball in the heavyweight division, he makes it up in the welterweight division. Like when you think about it, he created some great lineups. We had Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Thurman, Spence, Porter, Pacquiao. Like all of these dudes fought in that welterweight division under PBC at one point. And so they provide great fights for us. But now in regards to what Thurman was saying about Spence versus Danny, listen, man, styles make fights. And if I was Earl, I'll switch my style up because there's no way you're gonna do the same style that you had against Special K in particular. You're not doing that with Danny. The Mikey Garcia style, it might work, but even that, I don't think he's gonna do that style either. He needs to keep it strictly distance. Like, do not try to exchange. Don't even try to entertain anything in regards to any type of Mexican style. Don't do it to yourself. Just stick and move. Because if he plants his feet one time, he might get dropped. And so, yeah, like I hope Earl, and I know Earl in the past have said, you know, he listens to YouTubers and that kind of like dictates how he fights. Don't do that to yourself. You know what I mean? I hope you and your trainer are like, yo, fam.
He better fight like Lamont Peterson did in the last half of their fight. He better run like Thurman did. Hey, that's what he better do the whole fight. But not moving that much.
Yeah,
but he better utilize movement.
Where it's like, hey, bro, don't plant your feet because it's dangerous, you know? And so I'm just hoping that Earl Spence is smart enough to
Earl listens to YouTubers. Hold on, wait, G, give me a second. Earl listens to YouTuber, right? Yo, Earl, you can't go toe-to-toe with Danny Garcia and beat him. You can't do it. Prove me wrong. Go toe-to-toe with Danny Garcia and beat him. Go ahead.
Don't do it.
Don't take a
Please
step
don't
back.
do it.
Oh, stand right there and bang with Danny Garcia and beat him. You can't do it. All right, go ahead, G.
I'm telling you the truth, bro. It's okay, man. Yo, listen, sometimes fighters got to go back to just being smart. You know, like.
It's game plan. That's who's going to win this fight. It's not. This is going to come. Who has the best game plan? This is what this is going to come down.
Exactly. So, perfect example is Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz in part 2, right? A lot of people were like, yo, he was running this, that, I ain't like his performance. Bro, what are you supposed to do against a dude like that? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what Lennox did with David Tua, but they don't say anything about that. That's the same way Lennox fought David Tua.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, bro, you got to give credit where credit's due. You know what I mean? Like, you're fighting the shorter guy that punches harder. You got to switch up the strategy. Now, Earl Spence
it changes.
People in weight and height.
The thing with, I'm sorry, G, you're bringing up a lot of stuff that's triggering some good stuff, so you're going to have to keep getting cut off. I apologize. But, yeah, that's the whole definition. You don't hook with a hooker. Shorter guys usually going to be the better hookers. Like, yo, you hook with a hooker.
Like 12 toes, man. Like, he's summoning all kind of energy off the ground. Man, listen, yo, Earl, please, man, just switch the style up. Like, you're versatile. I think Earl is more versatile than Danny is. So use that to your advantage. You know what I mean? Use that to your advantage, because if you don't, yo, man, he ain't Mikey, bro. He's not a smaller dude. Like, you know, I don't know, man. It's just, hey, either which way I'm going to win. You know what I mean? I already told y'all that before. But
either way, I'm winning. Either way, I'm winning.
So, I get a good fight, and I may get money, or I may see my mans win. Either which way, I'm Gucci, you know?
Hey, man, listen, go toe-to-toe with Danny, man. Nah, but on some being 100% honest, Earl Spence is a really good fighter, but I believe Danny Garcia is a really good fighter as well. I believe these guys in the welterweight division are all within a hair of one another. I think they all are going to be in very tough fights. That's why when I talk about TC not fighting them, it's not hating on TC. It's just the fact that these guys have all fought in each other and been in close fights with one another. Look at the decisions. They've been close. They've been really close fights, and these guys have all gotten in the ring with each other. One guy's missing from that equation. You can say it's because he's across the street, but he had the chance to go to PBC. The reason he didn't sign is on him. He's a man. He has to provide for his family. I'm not judging him. But what I can take into account is the fact that you had the opportunity to sign with the promotional company and fight these guys, and you chose not to. Your reason is your reason, but I can take that into account. Still, I think Terrence Crawford is a bad man. I called Terrence Crawford out, geez, my witness, way before people even knew who he was. Mm-hmm. So stop playing with me. When y'all sitting here with this, but what I don't do is I'm not a huggy.
Before y'all was calling TC.
Exactly. I'm not a huggy. You know, I speak the truth. Like, when you have like logic and reasoning and rules, and you understand that there's just certain rules and logic and principles you abide by. So logically, if I don't give Deontay Wilder credit for not beating opponents in the ring, why would I do it to TC? What would that make me? If I call out the flaws in Deontay Wilder's resume, but I don't do it to TC, what would that make me? Right? If Anthony Joshua fought all the names that are absent on Deontay Wilder's resume, and I pointed out for him, but I don't do it for TC, what would that make me? I'm not comparing TC to Deontay Wilder because I believe TC might be the most talented welterweight in that division. But Danny Garcia hits like a mule. Sean Porter's relentless pressure nonstop. Earl Spence is big with skills like a little man. I haven't seen him fight those styles. So how can I say he beat him? I'd like to see him beat him, and then I can give him credit for beating him. If that makes me some kind of idiot, then call me the old school.
Yo, Kate, say that last thing again, because people don't grasp when you say that. That I'm not going to give him credit for beating somebody he hasn't beaten. That's one thing that you say all the time that I think people need to grasp on to that. How can you give somebody, how can you say, oh, he will beat him if he ain't never fought him? I don't see the logic in that.
They're giving credit for other people's wins.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's when you become a fanboy.
Exactly. And I heard TC said it himself. Why would I fight Danny Garcia after this guy already beat him? Or why would I fight Sean Porter after Earl already beat him? Because you haven't. That's why. We know Earl can beat him. Can you? Just because Earl can beat him doesn't mean you can beat him.
Hagler fought Hearns. After Ray fought him, Hagler fought him.
Exactly. And like I said, I already given numerous cross matchup examples where it doesn't pan out the way you think just because one guy beat one guy, the other guy. That doesn't mean anything. You got to prove you can handle Sean Porter style, TC. You got to prove you can handle Danny Garcia style. And the ironic thing is Danny Garcia and TC split in the amateurs. So it's not like, and the amateurs doesn't even go off punching power. And he still eked out a dub. And so look, all I'm saying is this. Logic, rules, consistency. Trust me, I've mastered that. I had to do what I do for a living. So I'm not holding TC to a standard. I don't hold Wilder to whatever. No, I don't do that. That would make me a fanboy. These guys there's no perfect resume. Everyone has flaws within their resume. TC has the skills to beat anybody, but he has to prove he can beat everybody. And until he proves it, I'm calling it how I see it. Mm-hmm. But getting back to Danny Garcia and what Thurman said about him, we already know that. We already know. That's what makes Danny the most dangerous fight for a lot of these fighters. Because it doesn't matter how talented you are. If you can't take his punch, good night. Amir Khan was more talented than him until he got caught.
They said Martise was more stronger, hit harder.
Exactly. Until he got caught.
I was wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all good. Thurman started that fight off toe-to-toe with Danny, was schooling Danny till he got caught.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hit, man. You gotta go in that ring and prove it. Because going into that ring, I'm pretty sure everybody I thought that Joshua was going to beat Ruiz. I still pointed out how Ruiz had a better chance than everyone thought. But with that being said, I pick Anthony Joshua like everybody else. So you fight for a reason. There's upsets for a reason. Until the fight happens, man, cut the nonsense. But Danny Garcia hit like a mule. That's his equalizer against anybody. The fact that he got skills, and he's the hardest hitter. He's the hardest hitter in the welterweight division. That's his advantage over every other fighter. And that's a pretty good one. The equalizer is a good advantage to have if you couple it with boxing skills. So now we're going to move on to Floyd Mayweather training. There's been footage of Floyd hitting the bag, the heavy bag, the double end bag, doing road work. Is Floyd Mayweather training for a comeback? And if so, who do you think he's training for? And I'll start one off with Trill.
I just want to add, Eddie Hearn called me. So me and Canelo can get it on at 168. Give me $8 million, and I'll take the fight. I'm gonna start getting in shape right now. Nah, shout outs to Floyd. I think Floyd is training, and I've been hearing crazy things. You know, Trill got wild sources. You know what I'm saying? I got wild sources, and I've been hearing that people have been talking about him and Conor McGregor getting it on again. Floyd's been talking about he's not made it adamant that he's not fighting no boxers. He said, I'm not fighting no boxers. I'm not fighting no boxers. Didn't say nothing about MMA fighters. And Conor had posted something up. I forgot who he was talking to. Matter of fact, I think it was Mike Tyson. He sent a tweet back to Mike Tyson because I guess Mike Tyson was giving him and Mayweather props, and he was saying how he'll be much better on a rematch. And now he knows the art of boxing, and he's been practicing. And so I'm thinking maybe it could be a Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather part 2. Why not? Floyd will do it for $100 million. It's $100 million. I would do it for $100 million. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think it is. And besides the fact that Floyd is a gym rat anyway. Floyd always stays in the gym. You know what I'm saying? What Floyd gonna do? Floyd's gonna be bored. He's gonna go be in the gym anyway. Floyd staying in shop. But I think that he might. I think he might go in there with a Conor McGregor too and make it another event. Why not? If you're gonna pay him $100 million, do it. Me and Kaden was talking about that in the comment section when people be talking about in the comment section. Y'all won't step in the ring with. Yes, we would. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, y'all will step in the ring with these guys. Yes, sir. Give me $1 million. I'm not a coward. I was stepping in there with an AJ. You pay me $100 million.
You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. Like, people
are crazy.
You would step in the ring. I would like to think like the average man would step in the ring for the type of money. For $120 million, for $50 million. You fight someone and you make $50 million. You wouldn't step in.
$1 million cash.
I get $1 million, but I'm just saying, forget $50 million. $50 million. You don't even have to be the same size as the person. You can be. Listen, I bet you, if you said,
I'll fight AJ right now, $50 million. I want for real, chilling.
Like so, like I don't understand when people say like, oh, like dude, if you wouldn't step in the ring for $50 million, then that's on you. But yeah, G, what are your thoughts on Mayweather training? And
I want to disagree with Trill on this. I actually don't want to see him fight Conor McGregor. Like,
yeah.
I'll be honest. I thought that first fight was trash. This is what I want him to come back for. I wanted to come back for Manny Pacquiao. And initially, I wasn't for it either. But after what Pacquiao did to Thurman, I think like people will be willing to see that because now I think it's more even. Where Pacquiao has been active, Floyd is now inactive. Can Pacquiao now pull this off? And I think he has the better chance this go around than the first time. So I think it'll be a more even fight, and a lot of people will buy into that fight. So I would love to see him fight Pacquiao for a rematch.
okay. Yeah, so I don't know. He's always training, man. I don't know if he's training for a comeback. It is what it is. But I have noticed that Pacquiao hasn't announced the fight. And Floyd keeps saying he's not fighting any boxers and he's not coming back. But Floyd's been saying that for the longest time. He's known for retiring and coming back. He's been, in the gym. He's been active. Is he training for a fight? I don't know. But I do believe Floyd is always available for the right price. If it makes dollars, it makes sense to him. And I think, in my opinion, every fighter is the right price away from a comeback. And as long as Floyd has that he's always going to get offers. He can be 48 years old and they can be an up-and-coming prospect.
Tell the truth, what you said. when we was talking, when it was just me and you talking, tell the truth. Hayden said he could be 60 years old, long as he got that old.
Yeah.
That's a bargaining chip.
As long as he has that O, people gonna pay to see him lose. So as long as Floyd has the O beside his name, he's always going to get offers to come out because there are people want to see him lose. There are people who want to celebrate his defeat. And so he's always going to be able to, if he lost in the octagon, there are people who are going to somehow try to relate it to boxing. When you say Floyd's undefeated, but he lost in the octagon, like, because there's this people just want to see him lose so badly. So like, as long as he has that O, Floyd is a different kind of cat because people hate Floyd so much, they'll convince themselves that anyone he's fighting can beat him.
Exactly.
Because they hate him so
no matter
much.
what. They even thought the Ghost was going to win.
Like, I'm telling you, they'll convince.
They had like a pastor anoint his glove, saying God is guaranteeing this victory. I was like, come on, don't do that, man. Don't put
I'm telling you, it's crazy. I seen only in movies have I seen. Here's one particular movie where I seen it. They built the guy up so much, and that even the man who knew that it was a sham got caught up in the sham. So like I said, people lose their minds sometimes. Floyd does that to people. Some people dislike Floyd so much,
yeah.
they lose their sense of reality, and they actually think that certain people have a chance to beat him. So I say kudos to Floyd, and as long as he got that he's gonna receive offers. So.
Yo, people are crazy, man. If you just really think about it, you're like, why you hate him? Oh, because he ain't never lost. That's why you hate him. like people want to see you crash so bad. If they see you up, they can't wait for the fall.
Yeah, it's funny though. Not to bring this up again, but in that Bulls docuseries, The Last Dance, they talked about that also. Everyone loved Michael. Until after a while, that people were like, man, I'm praying on his downfall, man. Like, they just want to see him lose, and it comes with the territory.
I still see the pretty boy Floyd who used to cry in the ring. You know what I'm saying? That's who I still see.
All right, so there's rumors that Gervonta Davis is mad, even jealous about Floyd Mayweather training Devin Haney. What are your thoughts on that? G, I'll start with you.
Only reason why I'm saying I don't believe it is because I've seen footage where Tank is like working on the mitts, right? And then Floyd is giving him suggestions, and Tank looked like bothered, like almost to the point where he's like ignoring Floyd while Floyd's trying to give him tips. So I don't, because of that, I don't think so. If anything, it is kind of weird though. That
you said you haven't seen that, or you have?
No, I've seen that. I've seen them like this footage, literally where Floyd is like giving them like advice on how to throw the jab, how to move around this and third, and Gervonta's just ignoring them. Like,
so you don't think that would actually feed into the rumors? Because to me, I would take that as like
rumors. What I'm saying is, I don't believe the rumors. It'll be one thing if like Tank was like Devin Haney, where like anytime Floyd give him advice, he soaks up game and everything like that. Then I could see like, yo, wow, why you working with homie when you working with me? But I've seen footage where Floyd's trying to work with him and he's not really interested. So I don't think that's the case.
Do you not see how you're kind of creating a scenario where the rumors could be true? It's like, let me break it down for you. It's like you're saying you've seen Tank ignore Floyd. Like, he doesn't even want to be bothered with him. So then Floyd goes and say, you know what? Well, then I'm going to give all this game to Devin Haney, a guy in your division, a guy you might have to fight, and I'm going to train him. And now you see Devin soaking it up. And then you see the post of Floyd like, oh, this kid just wants to be great, nothing else. And then you see Devin Haney, you know what? I was about to say it's BS. You talked me into saying it might be. You don't even see how you did it.
Right? Yo, Devin done trained with Jeff Mayweather. He done trained with Roger Mayweather. He done trained with Senior. So it makes sense him now training with Junior. So to me, I don't think Tank is gonna take it that way. I think Tank is just like, yo, whatever.
Bro, respectfully, Mayweather Senior Jeff Mayweather do not promote Gervonta Tank Davis. Floyd Mayweather promotes Gervonta Tank Davis.
That's true too. But I think because of Devin's connection to the Mayweather gym for this long, it's a little different. You know what I mean? I just don't. How about this? Y'all could be right.
I'm not saying anything. I have no opinion. But you were saying you were trying to dispel that there's any drama, but you were saying things that made me say there actually may be some drama.
So maybe how I took the question is like Tank jealous of Floyd training him and not him? And
that's like, some of the rumors. Yeah, he's mad and he's jealous.
I don't see that because Floyd tried to train this dude and Tank was just ignoring him. You know what I mean? So, and you can watch those clips on YouTube. So that's why I'm like, I don't see it that way. Now, is Tank bothered at the fact that this dude could potentially be his opponent and Floyd's working with him? That could be a situation. I was just addressing the fact that if Tank is jealous about him training him, like, because he isn't getting trained by him. I don't think that's the case. But you made a point that was solid. They're both in the lightweight division. They're most likely going to fight each other if, in fact, they're in the same weight class in the near future. Why are you training the guy that you're not signed to? Or he's not signed to you. You know what I mean? So I can see that point. But I just like to believe all of these dudes are probably like cool anyways. I'm pretty sure they all sparred with each other at the Mayweather gym. They probably all hang out, or they used to hang out. So I don't think it's like that deep. You know what I mean? But then again, when millions are involved, people do switch up. So what do I know?
All right, Trills.
This week on Love in Boxing. I'm not gonna say Love in Hip Hop.
Somebody said you were being too hard on that show. I saw that.
I know. Shout out to the whole girl Rachel. I say put some respect on their name. But I'm gonna say Love in Boxing. You know what I'm saying? like, listen. This been this love triangle between these guys. I really don't want to. I should call it the love box because it is a box with Floyd, Gervonta, Devin, and Broner. That's the love box. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's going on over there. There's a lot of hair pulling, and these guys like first of all, Floyd is the master of this. Floyd plays the little head mind games. He does it with his women. This is no like.
I don't want no parts of where Trill's going with this.
All right. Here it is. The views and points of Trill.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a disclaimer. We haven't had to do that in a while. You've been behaving.
Yeah, put it up, please. Put the disclaimer up.
The views and opinion of Trill do not reflect the Boxing Bros as a whole. Go ahead, Trill.
All right, listen. This is sounding like real, like, girlish. Okay, here we go. All right, with all due respect. Tank and Broner had a little issue, right? And Devin and Tank was going back and forth on Twitter. Okay? Tank has been, like what G said, shunning Floyd, acting like he doesn't, want the advice, or he doesn't want to going off of different things with the champ would tell him to do. He wants to do the opposite. So then you see Floyd invite people that seemed he had a problem with at the time. Broner publicly put on Instagram that they had a beef. You know what I'm saying? That him and them wasn't brothers no more. And then you see Devin and Tank going at it on Twitter. So what does Floyd do? Invite him to their crib. Invite him to the boxing ring, and they spar with each other. You know what I'm saying? And he's showing them some tips and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And putting it online to make Tank jealous. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, bro.
This is love. This is not love in hip hop.
The best research moment ever. Yo,
thank you. Thank you.
That was the best conspiracy, man.
Listen.
All right. So to add smoke to this fire, to add fire to the smoke, I should say. All right, look. Here's Floyd Mayweather, and he posted 2 days ago. The thing I like about @real Devin Haney is that he is willing to do whatever it takes to be great and I encourage all young fighters to do the same.
Exactly.
Follow,
With that too.
follow in all caps at Real Devin Haney. And then you see Devin Haney with the praise and the muscle. Now hold on. Let me.
Oh, it's so petty. God.
That just shows you. That just shows you he's saying that was a low blow to, you know, that's loving hip hop. I mean, loving boxing.
The love box. That's the love box.
That's the love box. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Listen.
Hold on. Wait, bro. Wait. Give me a second. Let me show the people. This is Devin Haney.
Mm-hmm.
This is his page. It said Floyd called last night after our workout and said, "I got so much to teach you." And then with the hush emoji, muscle and the heart. And then it says hashtag Floyd Mayweather, hashtag the dream.
So listen, everything that I'm saying don't seem too far-fetched. This is what he's doing. He's treating them like you would treat a shorty. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, she won't leave. She don't want to listen. All right, I'm going to grab these other two shorties that she, you know what I'm saying, take them out, take them shopping, and going to get her jealous. We're going to post up pics. Look at these shoes I got her. You know what I'm saying? This is too much. They going to come up with a reality TV show next. You know what I'm saying? The love box between these four guys. I don't know. I'm done. But I know what Floyd's doing. Floyd is, to me, it seems like Floyd is playing the mind games. You know what I'm saying?
It is right here, Adrian Broner on his Instagram.
I didn't make this up. I'm trying to tell you, I didn't make this up.
Javante really don't F with me no more. I'm sincerely hurt about this.
I didn't make none of this up, bro.
Yo, but I saw the video of him training with Floyd because I know you sent it to me.
Yep.
And it's not on his IG though. At least
yeah, it is not. But it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Floyd brought, you know what I'm saying? He was not, Devontae ain't messing with Devin Haney or Broner. So, you know, what do Floyd do? Bring Broner and Devin Haney in there to train. Hey, on this week's of Loving Boxing.
You know what? All right, since it's my turn, and I was prepared to say I would hope not. I don't think so. This is the first time that G and Trill have sold me on changing my opinion. G inadvertently, because G was saying things to like dispel it, and he kind of made me say, wait, it sounds like there may be something there actually. Because if Floyd's training Tank Davis and Tank seems disinterested, which I've seen it like he kind of has like this, oh, whatever, let me do me type of attitude. And then Floyd just starts bringing in Devin Haney, a guy in his division who, you know, he'll probably have to fight one day, and he's teaching him stuff. And then
they don't have words on Twitter.
Yeah, and then he brings in Broner, a guy who's clearly saying, you know, Brody's not messing with me right now. And he brings these two guys in, and he promotes Tank Davis, the guy who doesn't want to hear what he has to say. And then he puts something online saying, you know, this guy just wants to be great. Follow this kid, right? And then he has Broner in the ring. You know what? There may actually be something there. But to Javante Tank Davis, I'm going to just take it to another level. There's a stereotype for me that I don't like. To me, it's like insecurity wrapped in bravado. And it's typically found in American athletes, a particular American athlete, where it's like your ego's too big to be reached. Your ego's too big to learn. You know all the answers, so you don't need to listen to people who've done it before you. Or it's your time, so everybody just needs to fall back. And you're bigger than the sport. You're bigger than everything else. And to me, that's insecurity wrapped in ego. Right? Tyson Fury couldn't figure out, love Ben Davison, but I got to go with the man who I think has the knowledge and who can make me a better fighter. Deontay Wilder. I don't need any of that. The best fighter of his generation is trying to teach you how he became the number one highest paid athlete in the sport, in the world. To forget the sport, in the world. The most talented, he's trying to teach you that, and you're too good to listen. Bro, do you know how most people get their job? Do you know how most people become great? They intern, they work under someone who's accomplished what they're trying to do. They acquire the knowledge, the skill, the everything to perform the job adequately, equal to or even exceed the person that they used to look up to. You had a guy who took over the sport in a way we've never seen it before in terms of being the number one fighter and the highest paid, being your own boss. He's right there beside you, and you can't even listen. You too cool to listen to him. You too cool to listen to him. Who do you think you are? Once again, you're only a man. See, this is what you got to keep. You're only a man. You're only a man. And you're doing this to the man who has the keys to your career in his hand. He's trying to fight for you in Lomachenko. You're done. And here's what you should be worried about if you're Gervonta Davis. If Floyd's getting that close to Devin Haney, it may not be that far-fetched that he's going to throw you in the ring with him. Because, yeah, Floyd likes to do that. He likes to take his fight and put – so, you know what? Maybe you might have to fight Devin next. You coming overweight with him. You fight him the way you fought Gamboa. But there's this thing, like this ego thing with the American athlete, particularly certain American athletes, that I don't like when I see it, like the way they portray it. There's this movie on Netflix. It's called Sprinter, and it's about like this Jamaican sprinter who's like trying to get to the Olympics and whatnot. And they have like the kid from Empire, the one who plays like the rapping son, because I don't really know, like I don't really watch that show. But like the kid who plays the rapping son, he's the American sprinter. And of course, how do they present the Americans? Flashy, egotistical, cocky, this and that. And it's like, I would love to say like that's a misrepresentation, but it's not. Why is the American athlete like that sometimes, man? You're so cocky and so arrogant, you can't even listen to the greats that came before you. Like you Floyd Mayweather's in your ear telling you how to punch, and you're too good to listen to that. I wish I might listen to the person who's accomplished all the things that I'm trying to do in this world, who's already done it, and they're giving me some sound advice, and I'm telling them, yo, come on, man, like, yo, be easy, yo, like, yo, bounce, man. It's crazy to me. But yeah, y'all just sold me, man. And there may be some truth to these rumors. Now, of course, it's just rumors, and I hope that everything's peachy and fine. But the way Trill broke it down and what G's saying, this may be the love box.
Yeah, man. I didn't even want to do it to these brothers, but it is what it is, you know.
Episode 1.
It's really, yeah.
It may
Y'all
be
guys is over there looking real sus right now.
All right, we're gonna move on, man. So we're gonna move off the love box, man. All right, so check this out. Eddie Hearn said that we need to eradicate easy fights for big money. He said we need to eradicate the warm-up fight, the easy money fight. So what's your thoughts on that, G?
Well, I think he's in salute to Complex. He's the one who actually sent me that article, right? And I think
Boxing cousin, what up, Complex?
He literally just sent it to me. But
we need him back on. We need to see you soon, Complex.
Yeah, Complex. He sent to me as well. So shout out to Complex, man. We're gonna see you soon, Complex.
But I think what he's implying is that there's no money right now, so the zone, they're taking some big L's, because they made major investments. And so they paid fighters like top dollar just to fight, no names, and so at some point they need to get a return on their investment, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably unsubscribed during this quarantine, which is rightfully so. There's no fight, so why would you be still subscribed with the zone, right? And so I think they're looking at it like, man, we got to pay back our investors. What can we do? And so I think he's like, you know what, to get these subscriptions up, no more tune-ups. The real names fight the real names. And I'm all for it, so hey, if that's why I like the Ryan Garcia fight with Linares. You know, if he could get Boo Boo to fight, you know, I don't know who he has access to in that division, you know, but if they could just pull out something where everybody's fighting big major names, that's a come up. You know, even you know, they got Canelo, they got Triple G, so they could find a way to either do that part 3 or get Canelo another big name. I know they're talking about Billy Joe Saunders coming back. You know, so these are like big names. These are big fights for the zone that they actually need. So I actually agree with them from a financial standpoint, and I definitely agree with them from a boxing fan standpoint. Make the big fights, you know, especially people are fiending now during quarantine. Hey, man, you know, make the best fight the best. Simple as that.
Yo, I just got to correct something you said. You said that the zone's taking big L's. There's only one big L. May he rest in peace. Big L, the legend from Harlem. Okay?
Shout out to Big
You
L.
ain't a leader. What? Nobody followed you. You was never, your mother should have. Oh, man.
You can't do
Call from work, turn your tux red. He's like, hey, mad girls, ask Beavers, I get nothing.
But shout outs to Big L.
Cool.
That's where Jay-Z got his swag from.
Hey, I always said this. If Big L was alive, there'd be no Jay. And if Aaliyah was alive, there'd be no Beyonce. But that's neither here nor there. But let me say this. What's you? I just want to correct. Only one big L. So they took an L.
Yeah, they took an L.
They didn't take a big L.
Now
Big L. All right, go ahead, Trick.
I agree with G and I agree with Eddie. You know what I'm saying? Look, we were saying this long time ago with Al too. Al was paying everybody crazy bread. Eddie was too. They was giving these guys top-notch money to fight nobodies. The well done dried up. Now y'all gonna have to earn your keep. You know what's wrong with that? You know, earn your keep.
Anybody recognition?
What?
Farmer. Did he fight anybody?
He fought someone that beat him, so that's
Jojo Diaz. That's the only one.
Yeah, Diaz beat him, so
Jojo Diaz, and he was getting paid. He was getting paid well, and he was fighting like 4 times in that 1 year or something. So these guys was getting compensated, and now it's time for to get some get back. Now you got to earn that bread.
I'll put you like this. I really don't know what's the point of this. Were you finished, Trill?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm just trying to ride the wave, right? So, I feel like what's the point in making this announcement? Just eradicate it then. I get where the zone was coming from. You want to come in, you want to take over America. Matchroom. I mean, you want to come in, you want to take over America. You don't have that type of pull in America that you do in the UK, so you got to overpay people to get it stable. But you got it stable now, And I don't think saying eradicating the big fights is the way to go about it. Just do it. The way I would go up to someone who I've given easy fights to, say it was I don't want to name any particular fighters because I don't want like fanboys on my case. But let's just say there's a particular fighter you felt you gave an easy road to and you paid them some good money. So okay, now it's time for you to take a tough one. I know we giving you whatever, but this is the time where you're gonna have to earn. You have to earn it. We need a tough one from you, and then you throw them in. And if they win that one, then give them an easy one. Then give them a tough one. Then give them an easy one. Then give them a tough one. But to just say you're going to eradicate all easy fights, I don't think any fighter should fight the best back to back to back to back to back, because then you're going to shorten the fighter's lifespan. Like, I think you need to create deals where you negotiate the contract. And it's like, okay, we're going to give you one. You can call it tune-up. I'd say voluntary. Voluntary has to fall within a certain category, maybe in the top 50, right? You can pick number 50 if you want. Who cares, right? Just whatever one you think's tailor-made for your style.
That's
pick.
right. That's right. I like how you don't use tune-up, because a lot of these people that's supposed to be tune-up been tuning up these fighters. Shout out to Doc Chittian. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So you voluntarily pick the guy you want to go in the ring with. We'll let you pick. Just has to be top 50 guy, right? You pick But you're gonna have to fight one tough fight, one top 50, one tough fight, one top 50. And if you fought a tough fight and it was like a real physical fight where you took a lot of damage, we'll give you two voluntary guys. Let you get back. Let you get back. Let you get paid, let you get back. But no more free paydays. But why you gotta announce it to the world? Like, I mean, were you talking to Bob Arum and Al Heyman?
Yeah, it sounded like he was talking to somebody. It was a subliminal to somebody.
These guys are fools, man. Look,
Maybe
Showtime.
maybe Bob, but he ain't talking to Al Heyman. Al Heyman's getting the big fights. You know what I mean? At least with the welterweights. So
Nah, Al Heyman's getting them with welterweights and that's it.
Yeah, well now, but it was a while where these PBC fighters wasn't fighting nobodies. You know what I'm saying? Well, certain fighters wasn't fighting nobody.
Because they're gonna need each other at some point. I already had a blueprint. I'm gonna give them the blueprint right now because I already gave one blueprint out, and this is what I want everyone to do. Please, if you can, because I'm only one man. Like I said, I know I'm only a man. I'm only one man. No matter how great you think you are, when you go to vote, that's one vote. Even the president, even Barack. I saw when Barack went to vote, and some dude said, "Hey, don't talk to my girlfriend." That's a pretty funny video. Anyway, you should check it out. Barack was smooth as hell. But anyways, right? Like, even Barack's vote only counts as one vote. Yeah, there's a one vote. But anyways, we need to get to these networks and tell them to make these fights available on VR. Okay, because when you put your VR headset on, you're watching it on a giant screen, but you could also be in a room with other people. So we can't have the crowd. You can't be there live, but you can be watching on a giant screen in a room full of people, right? And if they did it like that, then the Boxing Bros, if they did like that, look, the Boxing Bros, we can make our own theater, like we'll be watching the fights with the people who watch our show. And then we could be watching it and talking.
He's been really pushing this VR stuff.
Yo, because it's the wave.
he sold it to me a couple days ago. I'm about to get
Yeah, he's been really pushing it.
I'm telling you, it's the wave. Because listen, it'll be a way where it's like, okay, we could all watch the fight together, although we're not there. And that's what's needed right now. And then the beauty of it is also you're watching on a giant screen. You're watching on like the screen's like the size of a movie theater. And so you're watching it, and you can talk to people next to you, and you can be talking whatever. Oh, I just got out, whatever, and it's just cool. And that would be what we need right now because we can't go to the fights, we can't do whatever. But if you make it in VR, we can all watch the fights together. We can comment, and then it won't feel like the arena's so empty because we'll have people watching the fights with us. So I mean, I'm telling you right now, Oculus. All you VR makers, producers, y'all need to be on this. Y'all need to
call Caden right now. Call Caden. He got the blueprint, and we're gonna make it happen. Just cut the check.
All we ask is that you tell people to check out Boxing Bros and give us free equipment to record our show with good sound. That's it.
Because you know I'll be sounding all low and everything.
That's all we want. No, but I think it would be like really dope if they did it that way. So, but yeah, that's basically all I got on that. So we're gonna move on to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia said he wants to be 60-0 when he retires. Gee, what are your thoughts on that? Or do you think Ryan Garcia will be 60-0 or can be 60-0 when he retires?
Hey man, Wilder was 40-0. I mean, yeah, if you fight tuna cans, like sure, you know what I mean. But it's like I don't think 60-0 will make you like great. You know, I think what makes you great is fighting quality opponents. You know, and so if, for example, if Ryan could fight Tank, Loma, Haney, any of these guys, then I could be like, or all of those guys, he will become great by default because he's beaten everybody of anybody of value in that division. Salute, you know what I mean? But if like you're just fighting no-name guys, I mean, yeah, you get the 60-0, but are they top-notch opponents? Are they like people that you would mention? Like when you look at Floyd's resume, these are solid opponents. They have fights under their names. You know what I mean? So you need to fight the greats. And then you could be like, all right, cool. Yeah, you are that dude because you got rid of all your real opponents. You know, I feel like, and it kind of goes to why I don't really like the 4 governing bodies and everything, you know, but because we have like 4 different champions, maybe even 8, who knows, with some of these divisions. If one person, to me, just become undisputed. Once you become undisputed, then, you are the great of that division. Then, hey, try moving up in weight, go to 140. Try to be undisputed at 140. Then go to 147. I think by the time, let's just say he gets through his career where he only had let's say he got to 60 fights, but he lost 4 times or whatever. As long as he's challenging himself, people will forgive those losses. People just want to see the best fight the best. And it's okay if you take an L once or twice, whatever. It doesn't, a loss doesn't, dictate your career. I think too many times we're trying to follow the Floyd Mayweather approach. And because everyone's going out the Floyd Mayweather approach, we're not seeing the big fights anymore. Or we only see the big fights when a promotional company drops a big bag. Man, just let the best fight the best, man. Bring greatness back to boxing.
All right. True.
I like Lil Ryan, so I'm gonna do damage control. I'm gonna say that was a 2-part statement. Okay, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be 60-0 if he stays down in Mexico. Bang. And then the other part was I'm gonna be the greatest fighter one day. Those were 2 different statements. I'm saying I'm gonna be 60-0 and the greatest together. It can't, listen, you know what? I'm gonna grab this. G, let me hold this. This is from your man, Wilder. You speak it? What's the next one? Believe it and receive it. I'm not gonna take nothing away from the kid. Lil Ryan say that he could be 60-0 and the greatest, and let him feel he could be. Who am I to say that he can't be 60-0 and the greatest? Okay? I know a Mexican fighter who was 70-0. One of the greatest Mexican fighters. He's in my top 3 of all-time fighters. Julio Cesar Chavez.
Senior, you gotta add that.
Senior, excuse me.
You gotta add that.
You know what I'm saying? Even his son was undefeated for 40-something fights. Ryan can do the same blueprint. You know what I'm saying? He can come. He can.
And not to mention, I brought up Linares, but he also could possibly fight Lopez. Since Lopez is talking about he had tune up anyways. That's your opportunity right there.
We're going to get to Linares next, right? That's what we got to talk about, him and Linares next. We're going to talk about that next. But Ryan saying that he could be 60 and one of the greatest. He can. He's still young. He's undefeated now. I'm not going to say he can't, because who am I? Who am I to say another man can't do something? I'm not a hater. If he dedicates himself to the sport, who knows? He could be the next Floyd. This is what we're supposed to do. Kaden brought this up before. I can't stand where people will be like, oh, you can't beat the old person from back in the days. Is now things are meant to evolve. Athletes are meant to get better.
Yo, bro, can I jump in for a second? You just reminded me of something, bro. Yo, I can't remember the person's name. I think it's that Lyrican Wolf or whatever, the commenter.
Yvonne Wolf.
Like Yvonne Wolf?
Yeah, I think it's German. So I think it's
yeah. Yo, this person really said to me, yo, put some respect on Larry Bird's name. Steph Curry can't hold a candle to Larry Bird. And just went on all the crazy stuff. Hey, listen, I'm not here, I spit nothing but facts, right? Facts are Steph Curry's on pace to be the all-time leader in 3-point field goals made. Steph Curry can handle the ball better. One, I never said Steph Curry was better than Larry Bird. I said these athletes now are better. And then he said something about, if you they prove it's the blocks in the track and that people really aren't running faster. So you're saying that Usain Bolt really isn't faster than Jesse Owens? You really saying that to yourself?
Listen, equipment for training is different. Everything is different. Larry Bird was a bad man, right? But then there was a guy that came in, the name Magic Johnson. And he was like, oh, and he said, Larry Bird said Magic was the best basketball player he ever seen. Magic was the man. Then there was this young guy, that came on. Once these other guys, and once these other guys got older, he took over. Michael Jordan, now he had his ring. Then it was time for the other younger guys to come in. It just happens. People get better. It's with time. Things happen. Like with technology, our technology is getting better. So of course they're gonna have different technologies to make themselves better. There's more things out there that can make them better, to run faster, to be stronger. That's just common sense. But
so that
anyway.
was part of his point. But then he made the argument that I want to address, which was that if you brought Larry Bird into this generation, he'd be the best player. And this is, like I said, how do you know that?
Yeah, how do you know?
Once again, how do you know? How do you know you can pluck these guys from their generation and bring them in this generation and they still be good? Just like the argument is they couldn't. How do you just concede that you pluck them from that generation and bring them to this generation and he'd be better than Steph Curry? See, that's you being biased. My argument was these guys can compete regardless. Yeah. I never said one was better than the other. I said you can't dismiss any generation. The greats are the greats, and the greats will be able to compete in any era. You're the one still trying to discredit an era, even by trying to add that justification. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah. I'm just saying, so I can't take nothing from Lil Ryan, man. I like Lil Ryan. I like that he's confident enough to say that, and taking a page from the homie Wilder, you speak it, believe it, receive it. And that's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. You can't even be mad at him. What you want him to say? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm going to win a couple, I'm going to lose. You know what I'm saying? What do you want? He's a fighter. When he said that,
Was that intentional? Or?
Yeah, that was intentional.
He's a real fighter. That's all I wanted to say.
In there. You had a couple of swears in there, so yeah.
I had to bleep those swears out. That's what I'm saying. He's a mother fighter. You know what I'm saying?
What do you want him to say? That he wants to be like 0-60 when he retires? I don't understand. What do you want him to say? You want him to say that he sees like guys he believes he can't beat? Is that what you want him to say?
Exactly.
Like being undefeated doesn't mean that you're going to be the best. Like Joe Calzaghe was 46-0. Rocky Marciano was 49-0. When people speak of the greatest heavyweights, some people leave Rocky Marciano out of there, off their list. They don't add him. He was undefeated though. Joe Calzaghe, when people speak of super middleweights and the best, they don't always think of Joe Calzaghe, and he was undefeated. Being undefeated isn't what makes you a great. Who you beat is what makes you a great. And like with greater challenges comes greater risk. When you fight better competition, you run the risk of losing.
Shout out to Joe Calzaghe, one of my favorite fighters.
Oh, Calzaghe used to get busy. Calzaghe
used to get busy.
Yeah, so Calzaghe, that was my
guy. Really, that was my first UK guy. That was my first UK fighter. That I was like, yo, that was my man. You know what I'm saying? And when he did to Jeff Lacey, classic.
Yeah, he was smooth with it too, because there was that situation with Bernard where he could have tried to make it ugly and it could have turned ugly. Yeah. And Calzaghe was like, as soon as I heard him say that, I knew the fight was on. So I was happy. He was like, he said, I knew the fight was on. So I was happy. Yeah. But Ryan Garcia is supposed to say he's going to be undefeated, and he should believe it. And he should spend his whole career trying to make that happen. Now, if he asks me, do I think it's going to happen? No, not if he fights some fighter. But I'm not always right, and that's why you have to make the fight, and that's why you prove it in the ring. Ryan Garcia may shock a lot of us, and even if he doesn't go 60-0, let's say he goes 68-2. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And it's
Especially,
no disrespect with me calling him Little Ryan.
yeah, especially if he fights all the names, all the big names, and he retires 58 and 2. Hell, if he retires 55-5, that's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
If he fights all those guys. So, you know, and I think Floyd gets a bad rep where everyone's like, oh, you know, he made the undefeated thing. There's a lot of people undefeated. I just named a few. Retiring undefeated, that's not. You should aspire to win all your.
Was it Aaron Pryor undefeated?
Oh, off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. We got to check that. I was wondering if Aaron Pryor was undefeated too. But yeah, shout out.
But the point is, you shouldn't get mad at someone for being undefeated and inspiring other people to become undefeated. You should get mad at those people if they're not willing to take on the challenges, because Floyd took on the challenges. Floyd didn't play around and to break Rocky Marciano's record, although some people will say that he did because he fought Conor McGregor. But hey, that fight's old, man.
Yeah. So, and when I call Ryan Lil Ryan, that's just because I've been watching him since he was so little. Like, we've been watching Ryan since he even had a professional fight, but he was just putting up his little videos of him, you know, shoe shining. You know what I'm saying? I was like, look at Lil Ryan. Now Lil Ryan in there knocking people out in the first round. So shout out to Lil Ryan out there.
Yeah, Aaron Pryor lost one fight.
Okay. He lost one fight?
Yeah, to Bobby Joe Young. I wasn't sure off the top of my head. I know it was like, I know he had a good record, but I wasn't like, you know, these little guys, once again, are not, I know them, but like, I'm gonna be real. It's not like, if I had to choose between sleeping and watching the little guys, I'm going to sleep. That's just how I feel like.
Feels like I'm out of here.
Listen, you see my face? I can't stand y'all. I can't.
Yo,
really
I never said I won't watch it when I wake up. I never said
I can't stand y'all. I really can't. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy.
But shout out to Ryan Garcia for that, man. Every fighter should think that. Every fighter should feel that way. So then there's Ryan Garcia versus Linares. What's your thoughts on that fight?
Yes, I called it. I said this was the fight that I wanted to see after the break, and I think this is a good fight. We're gonna definitely see where Ryan's at. We're gonna see where Ryan's at. This is a good test. I don't want to over soup Linares, because Linares has been in there with had a lot of wars. He had a lot of wars. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Wait, Trill, how many wars did he have? I don't think I know.
A lot of wars. He had a lot of wars. You know what I'm saying? I'm even thinking back. I'm thinking back to the Anthony DeMarco fight. Like, he's been in a lot of wars, you know. And maybe Ryan is not gonna get the fresh Linares, and we just seen where Loma took the last breath out of him. But this will be somebody on his resume that's a person who was a former champion, and is a legit fighter who has a good name, even though he's a little shop worn. Can I say that without it being disrespectful? Did I say shop worn?
It's not disrespectful to me, but I can tell you that you won't hear something. I don't know.
Yeah, to me, like, I feel like, you know, he's already got a little bit of dents in him. So this would be a good pick for Ryan. You know, it ain't somebody that's, you know, well, this is a good pick for Ryan. Let's see what Ryan do. That's all I want to say. Let's see what Ryan do. And then maybe he can start pursuing that 60 and up.
All right, G.
Yeah, I think it's a good strategic pick for Ryan Garcia against Linares, because, you know, I know people shouldn't do this, but people will do this. They want to compare how he faces up against Linares to Lomachenko against Linares, you know, and Linares did drop Lomachenko. Is he going to drop Garcia? You know what I mean? So, but on top of that, he is older. I think they said, like, he's 35 or something like that. You know what I mean? So clearly he's at, like, the tail end of his career. So this is a good time to get a name under Ryan's resume. And I favor Ryan in this fight. So You know, he is the
I'm with you, G. This is gonna be the last time we see Linares.
exactly. So it's what I mean, it's it makes sense. So and not to mention, it is a good step up for Ryan. Ryan needs names under his belt right now, like under his resume. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm all for it, man. I'd love to see that fight. I think Ryan's gonna pull it off, and hopefully he does it in a more impressive fashion than Lomachenko.
I mean, if he does it in more impressive fashion, it doesn't mean it's a more impressive victory because he's old.
You just need to win.
More wars. Yeah, just win. But I think it's a good fight in terms of the fact that you're giving him an old veteran who's been around the block, who's going to come to win because he knows in his head, y'all will put me in the ring with this kid because y'all think he can beat me. And his motivation is going to be to spoil the party. His motivation is going to be to put a blemish on Ryan Garcia's record. And, he's going to come in there with that Orlando Salido mentality. Like, I'm coming in here and I'm going to beat the kid. And
I'm coming to beat you up.
Yeah, exactly. And Ryan Garcia is going to have to prove that he can beat an old veteran champion who's been around the block, who knows the game, and who's talented and hits hard. So, this is one of those fights where if Ryan wins, you got to give him credit for it. Despite the age, despite the number of wars Linares has been in, this is a cut above the average, better than the average Joe, better than the competition.
Richie Kume.
Yeah, so he's one of those guys where if he wins, you got to give him credit because he took on a better competition. He's moving up the ladder, and depending on how he looks in this fight, then we can talk about his level and where he should go moving forward. So I think it's a good fight for Ryan Garcia. And I like how hard he trains. I like his mentality. I like what he's saying. I like what he's doing. Shout out to the kid. And look forward to seeing the fight. This is the little guy fight I'll stay up for. One of them. All right, I think we out of topics, man, unless there's something.
Oh, nice. Woo. This podcast went by smooth. Smooth as butter. Please, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching us. We really, really appreciate it. That's from the heart. Please like and subscribe and check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It is the Boxing Bros.
We've been defending like